Now, the one last little bit of advice that I will give you before we actually get started on this custom design of our homeschool. Much of what we're going to study and discuss in the modules that follow rely on the parent having a keen sense of observation. Now, the ability to observe really is a skill that you can improve and develop over time. And so in order to make the most out of knowing your purpose, knowing yourself, knowing your resource, and pulling it all together, well, we have to be able to observe ourselves. We have to be able to observe our child. We have to be able to think critically about what we're trying to do. And this all springs from this ability of observation. All right, there was a wonderful mentor that I once had, Miss Brenda. Miss Brenda was a Montessori teacher, and she had been a Montessori teacher of elementary age students for many years, but she was getting her certification to work with infants and toddlers in the Montessori environment. So she was getting her certification, and she flew out to a school for this sort of training in Denver. And as she walked into the class that first day, the instructor was there handing out limes. He handed out a lime to every single student who walked into the class that day. And they took their lime and sat down at their desks, and the instructor proceeded to tell them that this lime was going to stay with them wherever they went for the 6-week semester. They were going to learn this lime, understand this lime, and observe it, scientifically observe a lime. And they were going to write reports on it. Now, you may think, as I think, and as Ms. Brenda thought, of course, what is there to observe in a lime? But they did. Each one of these students took this lime, and before you knew it, they began to understand every little discoloration on their lime, every little bump and node, and even the sticky remnant from the grocery store sticker. And they began to smell or note the smell as it began to decompose over the 6 weeks, and all these different interesting little things about their own lime. And on the last day of class, the instructor asked them all to return their lime to the basket. And then she called up the students one at a time and told them to find their unique lime out of the basket of about 40 other lime. And to Miss Brenda's shock, each student found it very easy to find their own lime. After being with this lime for 6 weeks, they knew so much about that lime that they understood what made theirs different from all the others in that basket. And that's something that you just really can't do unless you have spent time studying, knowing, and just being with the lime. And the instructor put these students through this little exercise in order to show them that every teacher, the most important skill that any teacher could have, is the skill of observation. You are going to learn to observe your child. You're going to learn to observe yourself. You're going to learn to observe your home. You heighten your observation skills, and you are going to start to unlock the keys of what makes that student learn best, what excites you about a lesson plan, all of these things that are so important for a teacher to know. It all starts with that skill of observation. So turn on those observation skills, and you can start to practice even right now. You can, as you pull up to an intersection and you drive away, ask yourself, what color was the car next to me? As you exit an office, a doctor's office or something, ask yourself, what was the color of the carpet in that room? And when you're with your children, don't observe to discover something. Just observe. and let them unfold in front of your eyes. Now, this is going to come into play in all the future modules that we're going to go through here in our Sophia Homeschool Masterclass. It all starts and ends with the teacher's ability to be perceptive. So turn on those observation skills, and now let's get started.